This is Canada, a country known for its overly friendly people, breathtaking views, food, Drake, and home of where some of the best NBA players grew up. This is home to Zach Edey. Growing up in the suburbs of Toronto, his parents, Julia and Glenn Edey, Zach's mom, Julia, stood at 6'3" playing basketball growing up, and when she had Zach, she knew she had something special. Growing up, Zach played hockey, and by the time he was in 8th grade, he was 6'10" and began to play baseball. Zach was known as the big guy who played baseball. However, that came to an end once his coaches basically told him to stop wasting his time with baseball and hockey and try out basketball. The crazy part is that Zach didn't like basketball and had no plans of playing basketball.
It's really simple. It's kind of petty, but I just didn't want to play basketball because people wanted me to play basketball. I kind of felt like sports was something that you should choose.
However, when Zach was a sophomore in high school, he finally decided to give it a try, and things worked out well after being offered a scholarship to play basketball at Purdue. Every year, 60 of the greatest athletes in the world get drafted in the NBA, which is a dream for many people. The 2024 NBA draft contains many talented players. Names that immediately come to your head for this year's draft are probably Bronny, Alex Sarr, who's a potential #1 pick, Reed Sheppard, Donovan Clingan, Rob Dillingham, Dalton Knecht, Jared McCain, and the big man that is so freakishly tall at 7'4", 300 pounds, Zach Edey. Many people believe that the 2024 NBA draft will go down as one of the worst draft classes in history, but I do not believe that's the case at all. This year's class contains many exceptional players, potentials, and many sleepers, none bigger than Zach Edey himself. Before we talk about his crazy height, let's talk more about his game. First, his defensive dominance. Growing up, Zach was a multi-sport athlete, and baseball helped better his hand-eye coordination, and hockey allowed for him to be fast-paced and read offenses quickly. Zach's lengthy build also allows for him to be able to contest shots without having to leave his feet. His ridiculous 9'7" standing reach almost makes it impossible for players to score over him in the paint. Looking at Zach's college resume, he may go down as the top 15 player of all time, resume-wise. In this past season, Zach was averaging 2.2 blocks a game, which is 23rd best for this past season in the NCAA, which shouldn't be surprising considering he's 7'4". My second reason as to why I believe Zach is a sleeper in this year's draft is that his potential is through the roof. He's a 7-footer who's actually built well for his height, weighing 300 pounds, and his three-point shot is developing. In this age of the NBA, everyone needs a three-point shot, which is pretty obvious, and a traditional big man back in the 80s most likely wouldn't succeed in today's age of the NBA. As I'm recording this video, 3 days ago at the NBA Combine, Edey shot 14 for 25 in a three-point drill, which was the 5th best performance among all Combine participants. Yup, you heard that right. Zach was top 5 in three-point shooting at the Combine, and I personally believe that Zach didn't shoot many threes at Purdue, mainly because he didn't need to. He was so dominant in college because he towered over players that a three-point shot was not needed, really. Imagine a 7'4", 300-pound big man who can play defense, can potentially shoot threes, rebound, and can move decently well for their size. This is why I believe that the potential is through the roof, and as a late first round to mid second round pick, I just think Edey's a steal for any team in the league. My third reason as to why Edey is a sleeper is that he'll be needed for the future of the NBA. Defensively, at least. Times are changing in the NBA right in front of our eyes, and many taller players are able to shoot and handle the ball. For example, Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, and Alex Sarr when he gets drafted. They're all players that are very tall that can do pretty much everything, and only so many players can guard these players, but Zach would be a perfect matchup against any of these players as he would be a defensive anchor and would have one of the best odds at stopping these players due to his height being 7'4". Zach also has an extremely well touch around the rim and understands how to work in the post and is great at being a free throw merchant. Overall, this year's draft contains many sleepers, and with Zach Edey being a reincarnation of Yao Ming, he truly has one of the highest ceilings in this year's draft, being an absolute steal for whoever ends up drafting him. Alright, I'm done glazing him. Subscribe. See ya.